What's going on, y'all? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. Time for another episode of the Ancestry Anthology today from Grand Bazaar. Who'd have thought we'd see it? The Poppet. Are there strings on you? Is Andy coming? Well, this is the one for you. If you're liking what you're seeing, remember to like, subscribe, and ding the bell. Stay caught up on all your stuff. For now, let's dive in. So on planet Earth, the idea that something along the lines of a toy or a doll or a stuffed animal or what have you could develop its own spark of sentience and come to life is a trope as old as time, if we're honest. Everything from Pinocchio to Chucky and back again. I don't know where Toy Story lands in that wide swath. You get what I mean, though. It happens in our stories all the time. So, of course, it makes sense you would see it in the TTRPG world. In Pathfinder, Poppets, which have existed since 1st edition, are small, rudimentary constructs that usually help those who create them with simple tasks. From time to time, they can gain sapience. This is an exceedingly rare thing. This is the 1 in 1,000 we're looking at. And there's no one way it happens. From possession to a wish from a child that their toys would come to life and play with them. However it comes about, they then, of course, become sentient, free-thinking creatures, and then, as all sentient, free-thinking creatures do, have to find where they fit in the world. As you might imagine, their size and appearance vary, landing anywhere from 1 to 3 feet tall. Generally speaking, you're looking at roughly made things with button eyes, yarn for hair, like toy dolls and things. Mechanically speaking, a Poppet begins play with 6 hit points. It's a small creature. You'd really think it would be a tiny creature at 1 foot tall, but here we are, with a speed of 25 feet. It has ability boost to Constitution and Charisma with 1 freebie, and an ability flaw to Dexterity, which is huge because no creature in Pathfinder has an ability flaw to Dexterity. This could have very easily been another Dex Chaw, but it's not, and I'm okay with this. They begin play speaking Common plus any additional languages equal to their int if positive that they have available to them. They've all got dark vision. They all have the constructed trait, that is to say a +1 circumstance bonus to saves against death effects, disease, and poison, as well as saving throws against effects that would give them the drained, paralyzed, or sickened conditions. The spark of life that makes them means that they are in fact a living creature. They can be healed by positive energy and harmed by negative energy as normal. Poppets are also flammable and have a weakness to fire equal to 1/3 their level, a minimum of 1. For the heritages, a ghost Poppet, a Poppet that is possessed by another person's life force, a fragment of their soul. Don't call it a Duskwalker unless you were a Poppet Duskwalker, which could happen. Wild. Resistance to negative damage equal to half your level. The stuffed Poppet takes no damage from falling. The toy Poppet is tiny instead of small. Okay, there you go. That's how you become tiny. Got it. Much like sprites, this carries with it the notion that melee weapons have less reach for you. You can enter another creature's space. There's a whole set of rules for it. The wind-up Poppet must wind metal tabs on its body a few times each day, and in so doing doesn't need food or water to survive. Indeed, that spark of sentience means the wicker doll has to eat food and drink water and breathe, and indeed in this case must breathe to ventilate their internal mechanisms and sleep to give the mechanisms rest, which is a weird uncanny valley that I don't hate. The Wishborn Poppet came to life either from 10th level magic or an innocent child who loved you very much and really wished their stuffed bear could talk to them. Gets critical successes if they roll successes on saves against emotion or fear effects. For our Ancestry feats, Harmless Doll gets you the trained proficiency rank in Deception or something else if you have that already. This also allows you to impersonate an inanimate toy or mindless Poppet, allowing you to hide without any cover or concealment from creatures that don't realize you're a living thing. So long as you're in a place where a toy of your shape wouldn't be at a place like a carnival booth, city street, or basically not the middle of the forest. If you succeed, onlookers can definitely still see you, but they think you're a harmless object and not, a Poppet rogue. This only works the once, unfortunately. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, well, you can't. The rules have prevented you from doing so. Helpful Poppet gets a +2 circumstance bonus on checks to aid and does not impart a -1 circumstance penalty to their checks if they critically fail any attempts to aid. The quadruped Poppet was crafted in a form with 4 legs rather than 2 and has a speed of 30 feet. there's nothing in there saying that it doesn't also have arms. So that's really interesting to me and makes a lot of sense given that somebody literally made you. If you were like a stuffed centaur or a, god, I don't know, fantasy equivalent of like a transformer of some kind, I could dig it. Shiny button eyes gets you canny acumen out the gate, but you have to choose perception, and you get a +1 circumstance bonus to perception checks against visual illusions, because you've literally polished your eyes to reflect the smallest detail. Again, uncanny valley for 500, Alex. Washout. Each time you succeed at a fort save against an ongoing poison, you reduce its stage by 2 or by 1 against a virulent. Each critical success reduces its stage by 3 or 2 against a virulent, because, you know, you don't have any organs, so the poison can just leak out of you. Delicious. Cunning Tinker lets you cast first level mending once per day as an arcane innate spell. At 7th, this is heightened to 2nd level, and every 3 levels thereafter, the spell is heightened by +1. Even though you're alive and not an object, and you can't normally recover hit points from this, you can target yourself with only this innate spell. You can't just throw yourself on the crafter's workbench and say you need surgery. This will heal you, though. Histrionic Injury. As a reaction, when a creature you can see damages you with a melee strike, you get real startled, you act real dramatic, you flail your arms about, you get very histrionic about it, I guess. I say not knowing what that word means. Your assailant must succeed at a will save against your class DC or spell DC, whichever is higher, or become stupefied 1 for a round, or stupefied 2 as it watches you flail about and scream as your stuffing goes all over the place. Nothing but fluff for the stuffed poppets. Gives you resistance to precision damage equal to half your level, because you don't have any organs, so where are they going to stab you, right? Sealed Poppet at level 5, seemingly a staple for all of them, removes your weakness to fire. You can't take this if you're a stuffed Poppet, but everybody else can, so, you know, you're not being set on fire when the wizard is accidentally including you in their fireballs, even though you've told them please don't do that. Spark of Independence for 2 actions allows you to touch a creature with the minion trait. Said minion is quickened 1 for a round, and then is temporarily immune for 10 minutes. It can use the extra action to step, stride, or strike. This would be really cool if it wasn't just literally haste. I feel like you just literally haste said minion, right? Swimming Poppet gets a swim speed of 15 feet as you, stitch flippers to yourself, I guess. A Scaling Poppet integrates ropes and hooks and things into itself, or like those little sticky suction hands. Either way, it's a climb speed of 15 feet. Wheedle and Jig lets you cast Enthrall as a 3rd level arcane innate spell once per day. Impossible Gossip, that's harder to say than I thought it would be, allows you to speak to inanimate objects, finding a magical spark within them similar to that which animates you. This lets you cast Stone Tell once per day as an arcane innate, but instead of natural or work stone, this allows you to speak with toys, statues, any other 3-dimensional inanimate object which is crafted to mimic a creature's appearance. The GM has discretion over what you can and can't talk to and what they know, but this is huge. This is really cool. I can't really think of a game where this wouldn't get a whole lot of play. If I'm honest, I really want to join a Rise of the Runelords 2e run just to throw this at all of the giant statues of Karzog or giant dams built out of stones to look like skulls and things. Most door knockers are 3-dimensional and made to resemble some kind of animal or something. Literally, this gets so much mileage. This is really cool. Reanimating Spark once per day if you have the dying condition and are about to attempt a recovery check. You go to 1 HP, you lose the dying and unconscious conditions, you can act normally, you gain or increase your wounded condition, as you do. Once per day as a get-out-of-jail-free card, not bad. Squirm Free as a reaction when you are grabbed, immobilized, or restrained. You may attempt to escape, not horrible. Probably pretty good when things are trying to swallow you whole late game in any case. Restitch lets you cast Regenerate once per day as a 7th level arcane innate, which has really weird and strange connotations when you are casting it to restitch yourself, but then what happens when you cast it on a flesh and blood creature? Are they also stitched up with straw or the things that make a toy doll? Again, uncanny frickin' valley. And Soaring Poppets get a fly speed of 15 feet as they become Flat Stanley. Okay, so this is probably the most versatile Ancestry I have ever seen. Just full stop. You can do so much with this, and it basically makes sense everywhere. I keep screaming Uncanny Valley. In any given horror game, you show up with one of these, and you can write in the story story of the creepy doll, or the doll that got the like important NPC who died and their soul got stuck in it, kinda, or just got weirdly reanimated because of haunt things, which is easy enough to do, right? You can go so wide with that and tell so many interesting stories. Or if you're not feeling edgy, it's pretty easy to assume one could just literally awaken anywhere under any concept in anything and just run with it. Is it incredibly different than the average Ancestry? Yes, but I think that's what is part of what makes TTRPGs so damn cool, because the stories one tells with these are so unique. It's also a really mechanically good Ancestry. To be able to talk to random things in the world is really strong. You get a lot of really good innate spells. Everything but a burrow speed can be inherited in Ancestry feat, which means you are very well suited for whatever the hell the party is getting up to. Also, everyone likes a con buff. The 6 HP kind of sucks, but that's okay because you're getting, again, con buff, which helps everyone survive the campaign. The fire weakness is not great, but also you can get around it as early as 5th level. This is another example, again, of tiny creatures being the coolest thing, because something that's very fast and very tiny can get basically anywhere without being noticed. And like if you're in an urban campaign, it'd be very easy to just like slip through a crack somewhere, get inside the room, go to unlock the door. Oh, whoops, somebody's gonna see me. And just Toy Story the fuck out on the floor. Here's hoping the guard doesn't think, oh, well, that would be a good gift for me daughter. I'm just going to take you home with me, and then like scoop you up. But even if they do, they'd probably put themselves in sneak attack range, so much the better, right? Go wide ancestries are my favorite thing, and so yeah, no, we're down. This is great. That's all the time I have, though. What do y'all think? Have we rolled up a Poppet? Have you GM'd for it? Let me know down in the comments. I think I said I was going to do the automaton when I did this one instead, but inspiration is as inspiration does. Automaton definitely next, though. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time.